Hey, what's up, cats and kittens, and shout out to all my Cerebralites. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'm back with another episode of Reality, and that's TEA because I give it to you scalding hot. So grab your cups, grab your saucers, gather around, and let's all partake in this libation of reality. But before you go another further, do yourself a favor, and while you're at it, please do me a solid. Take a second, hit that subscribe button, and once you've done that, take another second to hit that tiny little bell so you can turn on your notifications, and that way you'll be kept in the loop. Alright, you guys, so 2017 is over. It's now 2018, and already the drama is beginning. So for those of you who are aware, TS Madison Khia, they host a podcast called The Queen's Court. It's also a YouTube show. You can find sound bites all over the internet. This show virtually came out of nowhere. TS Madison Khia, they put up a couple of videos. The videos were successful, and they decided to basically branch off into an actual show where the two of them sit down and basically roast celebrities. And the show is absolutely hilarious. Sometimes it's a little bit mean, I'll be honest, but for the most part, it's pretty funny. And I guess it's probably funny to me because they're not talking about me. And so some of the celebrities have taken offense to what T.S. Madison, and in particular what Khia has to say. Because to be honest with you guys, when I watch the show, T.S. Madison tends to try to stay neutral. She tries to interject some physical comedy into the show by bouncing and so on and so forth. But it's really Khia who is sort of the lethal weapon of the Queen's Court, or the lethal gavel, if you will. So Khia has a tendency to be a little unfiltered, unadulterated in terms of her opinions. And so she's not afraid to express how she feels about whomever. Where T.S. Madison, on the other hand, is a little bit more genteel in terms of her criticisms of celebrities. So most recently, T.S. Madison and Khia, aka the Queen's Court, were invited to an Xscape appearance this New Year's. Well, they were technically invited to a Tamar appearance. Tamar is part of the Great Xscape tour. I believe it's Tamar, Monica, Xscape. I'm not sure who else, but I know those three people are actually on the tour. So Tamar, who's also been roasted on the Queen's Court, invited T.S. Madison and Khia to come on and sort of just roast celebrities during her set. And they were happy to oblige and agreed, and Tamar and Vince sent the limousine for T.S. Madison and Khia, aka the Queen's Court, to attend the show. They came to the show, and it's alleged that Kandi got wind of them being there and essentially asked them to leave. So Kandi's alleging that they were asked to leave. T.S. Madison is basically saying that they were falsely accused of carrying weapons into the venue, and security told them that they had to leave as a result of that, and they basically took their limousine and went home. So clearly, if the show, I believe Queen's Court airs on Monday nights, if this just happened earlier today, or yesterday I should say, we're more than likely going to hear about this on the Queen's Court. And it's funny in one way and kind of sad in another way, because you want to see black women being productive and supportive of each other. But at the end of the day, you can't like everybody. I don't care if you're the same race or not. Some personalities just conflict. Now, in this particular case, as it relates to Kandi, I've listened to the Queen's Court and I've heard Khia say some pretty mean things about Kandi. And I can't lie. If I had a hand in decision making and you talked about me the way you talk about me on my show, there's absolutely no way in hell that I'm going to allow you to use my platform to continue to sort of push your agenda. That's not happening. In the words of Iyanla Vanzant, not on my watch. So I can see why Kandi would actually take umbrage with T.S. Madison and Khia having the unmitigated gall to want to come on my show and really push their agenda. So Kandi sort of put the kibosh, and like I said earlier, it's alleged that she put her foot down. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but if she did, I think that she was right to do so. So while there are conflicting reports, T.S. Madison says that they left on their own accord, that they weren't escorted out of the building. Other people are saying that they were essentially kicked out of the venue. In either case, when it comes to Khia, I'm sure Khia is going to give us the unfiltered truth. She's going to tell us exactly what happened. And it'll be interesting to hear her opinion and exactly how she says things transpired tonight. So if you haven't been watching the Queen's Court, please tune in. And the reason why Khia has said some things about Kandi. She's talked about the size of her vagina, saying that it's a little worn, if you will. But it's alleged that the reason Kandi was so bothered by the presence of T.S. Madison and Khia is that she was sort of sticking up for her friends Toya and Reginae. Now Toya and Reginae, they even the contention between TS Madison Khia and the Queen's Court and Reginae and Toya began in 2017 with this whole diatribe that Khia went on talking about Reginae's about Toya's promiscuity and about the fact that she keeps marrying different men and taking their names, and then ultimately she comes back to using Lil Wayne's name of Carter, which is not necessarily her maiden name. And so Kai was pretty critical of her, saying, what's her last name? And she was calling her Toyota instead of Toya. She was calling Reginae Resume. And she was basically saying that she can understand Reginae defending her mom because Reginae came to her mother's defense after Kaya made some reference about her mother letting men skeet in her. Reginae stood up and said, look, it's my mom. I'm 19 now. I'm an adult. I can defend my mother now because she's, people have been highly critical of her being too young to interject herself into adult drama. But one thing I think people have to remember is that, Reginae has grown up in a pretty grown-up environment, and she's a product of a teen mother. So, with those two variables alone, I think it's going to force you to grow up at a more accelerated pace. So she's really not sort of the same frame of mind that the average teenager or the average young adult would be. She's a little bit more advanced, and you see that in her disposition, which I think kind of rubs a lot of people the wrong way. I mean, let's be honest. Who wouldn't defend their mother? So Reginae is 100% right to defend her mother. I think a lot of people tell Reginae that to not defend her mother simply because they don't like Reginae's disposition. She comes across a little snarky. She comes across a little entitled. And so I think that's the primary reason why people want her to sort of remain silent, not because she doesn't have the right to defend her mother, but because they just don't like her as a person. There's something about her disposition that really rubs people the wrong way. So anyhow, you guys, I don't really have a dog in this fight. It's one of those situations where Tamar and Vince invited Khia and TS Madison to come on the show. They wanted them to do their thing. And TS Madison and Khia have actually roasted Tamar too. But maybe Tamar was smart enough to say, look, if you can't beat them, join them. So, because Tamar has quite a lethal mouth on her as well. But Khia's level of disrespect it supersedes even Tamar, because Khia is, I don't know, she's a horse of a different color. So I guess Tamar decided maybe it's probably better to be friends with the Queen's Court, because I even saw, I believe it was the Christmas episode of the Queen's Court where T.S. Madison was refusing to impart her opinion on Tamar, being that the two of them were friends. So because of that, Tamar invited them to the show, but Kandi said no. No, thank you. Khia also does an impersonation of Kandi. Every man wants a good woman in this sort of deep baritone voice. So I'm sure all of those things combined were probably part of the reason why Kandi said, no, we're not going to do that. Not on my tour. You guys have a platform of your own. I'm not on your platform. So I will not allow you to make money on mine. Anyway, you guys, so welcome to 2018. The mess is in full effect. Comment below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Whether or not you think it was right for Kandi to kick T.S. Madison and Khia out of the Great Xscape tour, or whether you think Kandi should have, taken the high road, so to speak. I'm not one of those people. When I know Michelle Obama famously said, "When they go low, we go high." So it depends on the day of the week. Because sometimes when they go low, I have to go lower. So I mean, at the end of the day, if it's Kandi's show and she's, one of the people in charge and she doesn't want them to be on there, you can't go out here, in my opinion, disrespecting people and then expecting them to write you a check by virtue of allowing you to appear on their platform and gain a greater following. So that's my opinion. I want to hear what you have to say, so make sure you comment below. And that concludes this episode. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please share if you feel so inclined. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Also remember, it is better to be pissed off than it is to be pissed on. And it's always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva. I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day, and as always, thank you for listening.